All right, my viewers and subscribers. So it is the morning after the first ODI game between West Indies and India. And as you know, we ended up on the losing team. But generally speaking, after a game, I usually like to take a look at the interviews that were done just to basically get an idea of where the players' mindset, lays. We're going to be talking about Brandon King. He did an interview after the game, spoke about a couple of things. Plus, we see where former West Indies player turned commentator Ian Bishop spoke about the West Indies game yesterday. So we're going to talk a little bit about all of that, my piece. So before we go any further, I'm always going to implore you, if you have not yet subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. All right, my peeps, become a part of the family. All right, so yeah, we were not able to get across the line yesterday. But, we saw a couple of things that we have been asking for. And honestly speaking, consistency is the thing. Because, we played well yesterday. We just didn't end up winning the game. Fell short by 3. But we don't know what is going to happen in the next 2 ODIs. Right? Because consistency is what we have always longed for. And not very often do we bat out 50 overs or score over 300 runs. So, we are still asking for consistency. So after the game, Brandon King stepped forward and spoke to the media. And, he got an half century yesterday. So they were just asking him if he's comfortable batting there in the middle order, or he's looking forward to get back to the top of the order, or the top of the innings. So, it was just reminding us that he's a middle order batsman, and he would have indicated before that he's happy to bat anywhere for the team in the top 6. But batting right there in the middle is where he's most comfortable, but he's willing to play a role for the team. Having said that though, he highlighted or reiterated that he's happy to be back in that spot because he's originally a middle order batsman. So, quite a few of us would have said that we want to see him at the top of the order. And I guess it's because of how we see, how he's playing, and we believe that, all right, he would be a good fit there. But he's just reminding us that he's a middle order batsman, and, but he's happy to play anywhere for the team there. He was asked about the pitch, and, he said that it was a good batting wicket. It's just that they needed to rotate strikes some more. It was a good batting wicket in the sense that, it's not like they had a lot of issues getting in and chasing down the runs. It's just that, as per usual, we weren't able to rotate the strike. And he also spoke about a couple of the batsmen getting out of the top there. So, they really didn't have a lot of wickets in hand to basically launch an attack in the as they went closer to the end, because they didn't want to get bowled out. So, the wicket, my viewers and subscribers, the pitch wasn't too bad at all. You understand? So I agree with him there. The rotation of a strike is definitely something that we need to work on, because while watching the game yesterday, I was still worried because, a couple of the batsmen, they were scoring mostly boundaries. Kyle Mayers had a 70 yard, 75 I think it was scoring a lot of boundaries. As I said, he wasn't swinging all over the place. He was placing the ball. But, watching the game, I was still saying that, if it's not a boundary, then it's a lot of dot balls. And, it so ended that when everything was said and done, I think we allowed maybe over 20 overs of that ball, I think. So, it still goes to show that we still need to find ways to work the ball in the gap. While the game was going on, I think it was Ian Bishop was highlighting that a couple of the deliveries that the batsmen just nudged down on the pitch, those were deliveries that could be worked into gaps with some more innovation and things like that. So, we still need to get that together, and and make sure that we are moving in the right direction. Brandon King also spoke about, he was asked whether or not there's a good fighting spirit in the team. And according to him, there's always a fighting spirit. There's always there is always belief in the team and belief in themselves, that when they go out there to play, they are going to perform. So it's not like they went up against India, and then they just out of the blues had this fighting spirit to go out there and win. It's just that things almost came off yesterday and thing like that. So yeah, it wasn't too bad. As I said, we're not rejoicing because we didn't win, but we still have to highlight a couple of things. Just as how when they are not playing well, we highlight all of the bad things. We lost the game yesterday, but we went pretty close. So there must be a couple of key good points that we can highlight. Brandon King also spoke about the chase and how they were planning to take it down to at least 5 overs and making sure that they were still in striking or touching distance at 5 overs. And they did that. It went down to the final over, wanting 15. In international cricket these days, wanting 15 with 4 or 5 wickets in hand in the last over. It's generally speaking, the batsmen will get it, even though it's just 6 deliveries. You understand? More often than not, they are able to come up with a boundary or 2, probably a 6, and then the thing would come a little bit closer. But Romari Shepherd and Akil Hussain, they weren't able to really find it yesterday. So but they didn't do too badly at all in terms of the chase. They worked it out in the sense that they got close, but one can't stop but think that if we were able to to pick a couple more singles, then we would have scored over that past that 300 pretty easily. So according to him, there's a lot of confidence in the guys, and they are planning to go out there and to show what they are capable of. And they are working on, well, he was asked whether or not this is a formula, if there's a formula to beat India. And he was just saying that they are working on their formula as cricketers or as batsmen to score runs, and hopefully their formula will come off. You want to have a formula how to beat teams, though, Brandon King. So I'm not too sure about that one, but yeah. According to him, they are just working themselves in trying to make sure that they are batting out the 50 overs and scoring over 300 runs. And that more often than not will put them in a good place. So that is basically what Brandon King had to say as it relates to this game that we just lost. Now, commentator Ian Bishop, he spoke after the game, and generally speaking, when Sir Ian has something to say, more often than not, people sit and listen. And according to him, they showed fight, right? And that is something that he was happy about. They showed fight. And they showed know-how. They showed that they know how to chase down a target. And the bowlers really pulled it back. He spoke about the bowlers not being able to pick a lot of wickets in the early part of the game, but going down, they were able to pull it back. Spoke about Kyle Mayers and Romari Shepherd, saying those two guys were outstanding in the game. And it's a big improvement according to Ian Bishop, big improvement on what we would have seen against Bangladesh. But as I said, consistency is where we usually fall down. So we are hoping that they will be able to remain consistent and will continue to put in the work. He spoke about the dot balls. Didn't really want to spend too long on it, it seems. But he said that on another day, having rotated the strike some more, he would have easily picked up quite a few more runs. But all in all, my viewers and subscribers, as I said, we are not rejoicing because we did not win the game. I know we're going to have some shallow-minded people that are going to say, well, look, you don't win and you're still doing this. No. Just as how when they lose, we find every little thing to pinpoint. We lost the game, just as when they don't perform well, we find everything to pinpoint. We lost the game, but there are a couple of positives that we can take from it. So I don't know about anybody else, but we take the positives, look to correct the mistakes, and we move forward. Zane, that is it, my peeps. Big up on yourself.